Welcome to the Doomsday Report. Now, on this week's episode, it's actually the first interview of 2023. So I guess, along with that, Happy New Year. Now, on this week's episode, I have the pleasure of being joined by Extort. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Doomsday Report. Now, what I'd like to do is just have a little bit of an informal chat with you. Fire you a couple of questions and see what makes you tick, basically. Now, you guys, you've been around for a couple of years now, haven't you?
Give or take.
Yeah. I mean, we've been gigging only for 6 months, but we've been, as a band, since like 2019, more like a formed kind of band.
Yeah.
We started in like 2018.
Yeah.
2017 even.
2018, so but it was more like
it was proto Extort.
It was like because 3 of us are from Napier Uni, so we were just like students jamming in a, you know, the few of us who liked metal in that course, just jamming along, and then some songs came up, and then after some time we were like, why don't we find a drummer, because the other drummer, he didn't really dig it, and so we found him. Then there was a big break, stuff like that, pandemic.
Yeah.
Then we found him.
All that shebang.
I heard about that pandemic thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but for some reason we stopped seeing each other for some months.
Yeah, I know.
I was sick of them, so then got him, but we are gigging for like, I guess, so we got Seb 2021, so like a year and a half now, I guess. Yeah. He's in the band and we are more like ready to gig and a bit more serious, you know.
A unit.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you needed to get yourselves a drummer. Now that is a high-priced commodity in a metal band, especially in Scotland. So how long was you searching for said drummer?
Honestly, not much at the time. That was 2019, 18.
Because
we had 2 drummers applying.
Yeah. And we knew each other before anyway.
What kind of helped is that we were kind of friends already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew him.
I got the shortcut way, you know.
Oh, right. In the back door.
Yeah, that's what we do, I guess. Before writing on posts on Facebook, you try among your friends because you know their sound. And yeah, he didn't have a drum kit.
Yeah,
he didn't have any cymbals or anything, any equipment.
I bought my first set of cymbals from a charity shop on the day of the audition.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's how prepared I was.
Did you just like practice in like college or studio beforehand?
So I grew up learning on electric drums, so I didn't really have that much exposure to acoustic.
Yeah.
And I
You're great at Guitar Hero.
Yeah, exactly. I played Guitar Hero since I was a teenager. I've still got a tattoo of it to this day. So yeah, rhythm games taught me how to do my thing basically, and that applied perfectly to Extort. So
he still does type.
Yeah, yes, I do also
video
type
game
as well.
where he just like presses all
Top
stuff.
1K global, by the way. Just want to say that.
I mean, it's written so he does it with his fingers instead of his hands.
Exactly. When you can't practice at home, then that's the next best thing. So
yeah. So how long was you practicing before you started booking gigs and started recording material?
With Seb, it's been a year and a half, a year probably, a year.
Yeah. And then with Ali it was about 6
months.
Because yeah, a year it was just 4 of us. Then we decided, yeah, let's get another guitarist because I do like leads, you know. We don't want the sound to drop, so we got Al in January, and then 5 months after we started gigging. We were a bit like, we were always like, we're not ready, I don't know, we want to sound better.
We wanted to try and like, you know, do a gig, it'll be like, right, lockdown 2.0, and it's like, oh, fuck's sake, right, back to Zoom it is, you know.
No, so I'm guessing that was the hardest bit about getting yourselves out there, because obviously you had the lockdown and then, you know, the lack of seeing each other, so you couldn't practice together and get your tightness. And what would you say was, apart from that, was just a bigger obstacle within the pandemic?
Yeah, just getting tight. I guess we could write songs by ourselves, but we like to write together as a jam in a rehearsal space, plus being tight for playing live, you know. Because basically a few times we got ready to play gigs, and then something happens, this, that, or pandemic, whatever, and then yeah, I guess though things started to ease up, and then it still took us 6 months because we got Al, and we wanted to like sound good. They're just like, oh god, I don't know. But then no, once we started, it's just non-stop. We played so many gigs in the past 6 months. I can't even like, it's tons, I don't know, probably 15 gigs or something like in Ayr and Dundee and Glasgow, Edinburgh, like.
And the pandemic was good for writing, so you know, you just sit at home, you know, put together a couple of riffs, and then whenever we could rehearse again, it'd just be like straight to the rehearsal room and then jam. Then, you know,
and that was a lot of time to be ready.
Yeah.
So now we feel confident with those songs where I can play with my eyes closed, sick of them, you know.
So how many songs did you come up with during the whole pandemic phase?
I think it was the first 5, 6 maybe.
Well,
Yes,
we had them
essentially.
before the pandemic.
Yeah, a few
two,
one or two.
we had like 2, yeah, before the pandemic, and then we came up with the rest during that.
One or two that were sort of proto what they are just now,
Yeah.
and then finalised obviously when we
Yeah.
all got back together.
But
Yeah,
right
'cause-
from scratch during the pandemic, it would be Hierophant and Control Alt, I would say.
Yeah, two
So
songs
it's-
from
it's-
scratch, and the rest changed up because then
Yeah.
he joined, people joined, and in our band we try like listen to everyone's ideas. So he was like, "Why don't you try this?" I'm like, "Yeah, if it sounds better, cool, you know."
Absolutely.
But now they're recorded, so we can't do that anymore. We like to change things, but we've been in the studio last week, so
And now it's set in
that's them.
stone, so
Set in stone.
Well, see that demo that you fired me for the radio show? Is that the finished version?
No.
No, not even
Oh,
close.
it's
Don't tell
not.
our producer.
There's still a lot of refining to be
I
done.
really like that song. There was so much groove in it. I was sitting there like this in the bedroom as I was like recording a radio show and that. Now, how long did that take to produce that one?
Well,
We kind of did it all at once over like so essentially we did like day sessions in the studio.
Did 10
So
days in the studio?
10 days in total, I think.
from drums to everything.
Yeah, 2 days for drums, a few days for guitar, a few days for
we've
vocals,
done it
and
like
one for
different
bass.
how we usually do it. So it's drums, then guitars, then vocals, and then after we recorded bass.
Really?
Just
Due to
because
technical
you know,
limitations.
Availability.
See, how come you've done it that way? Because when I've done recording, it was always drums, then I'd lay the
Yeah.
bass down, and then like the guitar would follow.
Yeah.
So what made you do it that
just
way?
basically because you know
Availability of the
unavailability.
No, but also because Ramaj's choice was doing guitars first. So we
Yeah,
recorded with
producer,
Ramaj, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing first guitars because then, like, the way he's playing, then you can hear what works better with the bass when you have the guitar." And to be honest, when we were doing it with Faz, I kind of realized what he means. Cause so you have the whole song, and then you can choose what works with the guitars already in the specific part. Like I think that was a good idea. But then vocals were supposed to be after the bass, but because he was ill, you know, there's some flus going around lately.
Yeah.
Ramaj was ill, he was ill, so.
It's just the way it
So
works.
was there much like re-recording going on, like redoing parts?
Basically we did all in 10 days over December and January. We were in the studio, we finished everything this Wednesday, so like not yesterday, the day before we finished stuff in the
Right,
studio.
so that's the EP completely done.
Yeah.
It's being mixed
Yeah.
as we.
Literally,
Next as we speak.
we are getting the mix tonight.
Oh, brilliant.
Exciting
So
stuff.
this is a very
So-
buzzing day.
So when's this due for release?
Well, depending if we're happy with the mix, but we're planning February single, March single, and April EP. That's the plan.
So you're just like warming everybody up to it then and then?
Yeah.
Bit of a tease, you know.
Yeah, it's what everybody does with their
Yeah.
releases nowadays. You get your 1 or 2 singles and then the whole shebang.
Yeah. People don't have time to listen stuff anymore. So many people just, listen to one song. If you put like a whole album, not everyone goes through it. I realized.
Better to have the groundwork, have the foundation, releasing a couple songs, people can choose if they like it or not. And then when the full thing comes out, people are probably more likely to say, well, I've already known 2 songs and I like them, so I'll give it a
Yeah,
shot.
and to try and also get through that wall of content online. There's so much content,
Yeah.
so you try and punch that bad a few times. Hopefully, if you release it all at once, maybe it's a bad day or something like that.
Well, I mean, that's another thing that I wanted to touch upon is how do you find the internet as a way of getting your music out there? It could be a double-edged sword, some people say.
Yes.
You know, but how do you find that with regards to competition with other bands?
Yeah, it can be hard like when someone else is releasing the same thing on the same day or something like that. But I'd say we're
You just
not
have
bad
to
with
like
that.
study, like release days, when to get like playlists when it comes to like streaming services.
Check out who's releasing stuff in the scene as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And even just things like knowing the algorithm and how to actually make your stuff visible for people.
Right.
Because if you release
So
it,
I'm
at, like,
clueless
the
about
right time-
all that sort of stuff.
Oh, there's an art to it, I'm telling you.
It completely goes over my head.
Yeah, we have an IT guy here. Everyone does something different, you know.
We're all low-key Facebook mums, just trying to figure out a way to when's the best time to post
Yeah.
stuff to
When everyone's on their
reach
lunch
our
break.
audience, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're always on Facebook
No, not really.
yeah.
I am.
Yeah, true.
None of you.
So you're the driving force behind the band then?
A lot of the time.
That's
You keep everybody in shape. You're like Monday.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I do the socials, but I ask the guys sometimes like, is this good?
Yeah,
They can always edit stuff. I publish it, then they can edit it,
Yeah.
correct
It's
my
fine.
grammar
All the time
mistakes
anyway.
or something like that.
Now, what are the plans for videos for this EP? Are you going to be releasing any videos along with the singles?
Not just now,
Not
but we
just
are
now.
planning
Yeah,
to
like
record
that.
some videos later on.
Probably like we're gonna start with like a lyric video, and then move on to like I don't know, like probably either an animation or like a live set thing.
Yeah.
We're still like deciding that. But our main focus is just get this EP done, which is done, and now is like the tricky part of like finding like a sweet spot where when to release it and stuff like that.
And will there be a tour to accompany this?
We're hoping so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are
What was
talking
the
to a
plan?
few promoters, but nothing announced
no,
or
nothing
nothing
set in stone
announced and locked too much to the point of saying it right now. But we are talking with promoters down south, England. We have contacts in like Ireland, stuff like that. So I think we'll punch England first, then. I
maybe
mean, like, we'll
to
go
play
to
there as
England, we'll get those riffs delivered to England, and then we'll aim to like Germany, stuff like that. We're going to Wacken, like I know a few people there, and hopefully get to know some bands, to do an exchange, stuff like that.
Going on a networking trip, and also see that
Purely business.
Well, also you need to go and punch England.
I don't know, well, I didn't mean that way. Punchy riffs.
Punch England. Definitely punch England.
It was a Freudian slip, but it's one we're all happy with.
Right, now there's something I want to talk about, and that's the Slava Ukrainian gigs that you're putting on
Yeah.
in regards to the war effort. How has that been received? Because you've done one in Edinburgh not too long back, and you've got one coming up. Is it next month or is it the month after?
February.
4th February.
Yeah, the thing is, the February one was booked actually before the other one, because February is kind of symbolic because it's the start of the war. So the 24th, when I noticed that the 24th of February, which is when the war started, falls on a Friday, I was like, that's like needs to be that day. Like it's a good day to like remember how it started, and I guess the news will be talking about it, and we can all like boost it up and have like a moment to think about what's going on. So I booked that, but then November, like a friend of mine was like, oh, I have these 2 venues booked in November and I don't really know what to do. I'm like, okay. And then I got in touch with Euphoria and all these bands. They just kind of rolled about. So I know they're not too spaced out, which for me is a bit hard because I need to do all that work then, but it's 2 different cities, so hopefully that will help, because the last one was on a Sunday, not really an easy day to come up to Edinburgh from Glasgow. So lots of people from Glasgow didn't manage to go. So hopefully it goes well. We are selling tickets tonight, and we have all the flyers and stuff like that. So
So we sold out the Edinburgh one.
Yeah.
So
Packed.
yeah, no, the Edinburgh
and
one.
if that is a
Well,
sign-
where
We're
was
talking
that
about
one?
struggling to get
It
there,
was
but
between, so we shared bands between Banshees and Barrowmans.
Oh, so you took over the 2.
yeah.
That's what
The
I'm
whole
cool.
street
Yeah,
basically.
like there were like 9 bands and people doing LED dancing as well, which we'll have
That was
this
so
time.
cool.
This LED dancing with some friends, drums, stuff going on. We wanted to do a fire show, but didn't allow us.
That would have been cool.
I get
Permits
very
and all that
excited,
stuff.
but you know how health and safety is. We tried to book like a piece of Cowgate, but
something health and
one
safety,
day when
something
I'm a bit
don't
more
burn the
influential than the
road
Edinburgh Council. But no, it's exciting stuff, never put gigs before myself, so that was like 9 bands to manage. But it went very well, and people were like, yeah.
It was extremely successful.
Yeah,
Great
no,
job.
very good. Like
Lots
everyone
of
had a great time, and Nassau finished playing at 2 in the morning.
Well,
I don't know why.
Which is
'cause-
unheard of in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I know.
how did that happen then? Was it like an after party gig or something where the bands just kept playing past?
Apparently Banshees, I'm not taking responsibility for what I'm saying, but apparently they don't really mind the Wacken curfew because they're like underground. So I
It's
was,
louder anyway,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's where the police are
With
gonna go
less
first.
music.
they were supposed to start at 11, but then I packed up, because I was in Barrowmans, the bigger venue. I was packing up all the merch, finishing up the night, and there was still 1 band playing in Banshee. So I arrived to Banshee, and I'm like, oh yeah, Nassau is still playing, I'm catching the last song, that's great, I'm happy. And then they're like, hi guys, and hello, and I'm like,
It's like,
this was the first song. Basically, because I was distracted packing the merch, everything just fell apart, and I don't know what happened. Not fell apart, but I don't know, they started playing 1 hour later.
Yeah, the time got
I guess I got to see their set, and there were many people still. It was a good time, and I just thought that was mental because it's a Sunday night leading to Monday morning, 1 a.m. and everybody like.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Just people.
Yeah,
they didn't have work or something.
So, what would you say is the hardest bit about running your own shows, and what's the most rewarding?
Rewarding when you see it happening and everyone is like, there's a few hard bits, but for me hard also was people were like saying hi and stuff like that, but I'm so busy, I don't want to be rude, but I'm like extremely busy. Like people arrived 40 minutes before doors, I was not ready with the merch, and I had to queue of 20 people, and I didn't have even change to give to people, and I'm standing there. I think I had these shirts, packing up money down in my pockets, and oh my god, I'm not even writing down anything. Just so many people floating in one moment, and he didn't arrive yet, so I didn't have Extort merch yet. I had a few things.
The card machine.
I didn't have the card machine, didn't have the cash, and I'm like, why everyone arrived now 40 minutes early?
As soon as I arrived, it was like, merch, card machine, bye.
So it sounds like you're absolutely run off your feet then.
Huh?
Absolutely run off your feet.
It was, but it was great. At the end, it was great to see everyone was happy. And sometimes I was like, sorry guys, Extort merch is not here yet. And you know, the change wasn't a problem at some point because people were buying small things. Then I got some coins. I'm like, sorry, no card machine for the first half an hour. But yeah, that was, and also, well, it was hard with your feria pulling out.
Yeah.
But we found replacements quite quick, which is great. It's great to see the support of the bands, you know, that they care about the cause. It's not only just a gig. So yeah, Ruaf, thanks Ruaf, and everyone else who played, each one, it's great that they cared, you know, about the cause.
Yeah. So who's on the lineup for the next one then? Here.
So it's Catalysis, Satiracy,
Revampire,
Revampire, Extort, Fallen Ashes, and Sacrificial Burial.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome guys,
That's a pretty hefty lineup.
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm quite
it's
excited.
pretty much same face.
Yes, I was Sacrificial Burial. Yeah, no, fucking awesome.
The highest compliment you can give as a musician.
Stank face.
No.
Right, so what will be the first official release then for this EP?
Can we say it?
You can tell me.
Can we? Skyscrapers, I guess. Skyscrapers.
Yeah, heard it here first.
So, and then Omen, the one you heard.
I like that shit.
Yeah, we are quite groovy. So you like your groove?
Yeah.
I'm interviewing you now.
Honestly, I'm all about the groove. Anything that can get fat cripple dancing's good. Good. You know, it's good for me.
We are quite about the grooves.
Oh yeah.
You'll find some surprises there. Some
Nice
good
one.
grooves, yeah, and
Nice
his
one.
bass is
Phenomenal, as always.
making
Just
it.
a little spoiler, there's a really angry, groovy southern bass line in one of the songs.
So there's a blast beat going on, and he's like,
Just like, you know,
going around.
southern trendkill kind of vibes going on.
Nice. So, how do you find the time for the two bands? Because obviously, I know you from Original Spirit as well. So, how do you find splitting the time between the two bands and everything else you've got going on?
It is difficult at times, I will admit. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of who's doing what when. For example, on the 24th, second Slavia training gig, I've had to find a replacement bass player for Extort because I've also got a gig which I committed to first with Original Spirit on the same day. So it was kind of sorry, I kind of this one, yeah. So I've found a special guest for us. Will be a special guest for that night, one night only. Kind of thing. So
is this one of these things where I'm going to have to find out on the night who the special guest is, or?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I'm keeping that one on the wraps, my friend.
I can't get too much info out of you.
You've got to see our Excel sheet for our availability. You know, it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
Just look at all these numbers and
just the spreadsheet aside.
To be fair, there's a nice
To be
graffiti on
fair.
there to kind of take your eye off a little bit.
He's the IT guy, so
Yeah, exactly.
he messed up all I did the spreadsheet
I messed up
guide
nothing.
because I can't keep track of their lives. And like there's a spreadsheet I made on Google Sheets. Put your stuff in there, what you're doing. And yeah, he just did a drawing of some monster.
Yeah, no, it's a kind of smiley face and a mustache.
Is that a smiley face?
Yeah, well, it's an Excel spreadsheet, so there's only really so much you can do by painting cells black, you know?
You got to listen to the band mum here, ain't you?
Unfortunately, so for us.
Right, well, how many songs are you playing tonight, and how long is your set?
It's half an hour.
Half an hour?
Yeah, it has to be half an hour. Or there's
So,
Usually shorter than
Yeah.
than we.
If we play fast, then 6, but otherwise 5.
Yeah, we have 5 plus 1.
Yeah, exactly. Thrash up the groove.
Yeah. If we'll see the promoter's face if he lets us do another one or not.
If we give the drummer a red bull, we might be able to get to the 6 minutes.
Well, is there any other news you'd like to drop on us that we haven't maybe covered yet?
Well, we're playing Metal to the Masses soon.
Oh, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you. I forgot about that. Metal to the Masses. Have you applied?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, we applied.
I'm
ages
assuming
ago.
you'll be at the Edinburgh Heats.
Edinburgh.
Yes.
And what date's that?
3rd
of February.
Yeah.
3rd of February. So it's creeping up.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
And then we're playing Edinburgh the day after, on the 4th of February.
Yeah.
That was an accident because we got booked for this festival, Red Cross Festival, on the 4th.
Is that
Before we knew.
One of the Valley.
Yeah.
That's fucking hell.
That's insane. Everyone be there. By the way, big news. We are playing a new song we are writing at the moment. So we are challenging ourselves. That's another thing we like to do. Just
Yeah.
Stretch right there.
because it's like a bit of adrenaline, you know. We are writing a song at the moment that we are gonna release in Labelle.
Right.
So
Premiere.
we did that
Debut.
before already
Yeah, we can
in our
Dropping it on us tonight.
Yeah, we did that before with Control.
We're not dropping that song tonight. It's
No.
exclusive for the.
Labelle, because Labelle is great, and we're just like, let's do something different, you know. So it's gonna be completely different set list with a new song.
And I'll be there on the 4th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I won't be there on the 3rd.
Yeah, and spoiler, this is the first song that Al actually wrote the main
That's his
idea.
baby.
Right.
The first song, because before it was like, because the thing is in this band everyone kind of writes, so like he writes. So
it's just easy to come.
So it's a lot of material we have to go through. Like it's lots of songs that are just there that I'm like, alright, you're writing this one now, which is great. Like we have like overpouring with new material.
Well, I mean, it's handy if all the riffs are there, then it's just a case of like putting the jigsaw together.
Yeah. Which
It's a working democracy, which you don't find in many bands.
Yeah.
And like I've been in many bands before, when I lived in Spain, and so there's always kind of like a little bit of difficulty when exchanging ideas and stuff like that. But here it's just like really smooth. Like put something on the table and be I can change this, I can have that, I can do this.
It's kind of helpful that we all kind of want the band to go into the same direction, even if we all come from different backgrounds. So we've all got our own influences, which kind of affects the band sound in a good way, absolutely, because it gives it more variety, which is why I don't suppose anyone's really found a genre for us yet.
yeah.
If you will.
What's your guess? What's our genre?
That's a tough one because it's hard to pigeonhole any band,
True.
especially in modern times. I'd like to call you groove band with some thrash elements, you know, maybe a bit of like melodic metalcore in there in parts, you know.
That's it.
I mean,
Core kid, slightly.
Yeah, and there's in the new songs especially, and what you'll hear, there's some black metal as well. So it gets.
Touches
I
all
like,
these.
but we kind of please a bit of everyone. You like one song, but it's not like. It's just what comes from our head. Just right, and I guess it's influenced from all the stuff we listen to. We listen to those kind of genres. So.
and on that note, I'm afraid I have to end this week's chat because I do believe you have to hit stage very
Fuck.
very
You're
shortly.
playing right now.
So, well, thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to
Thank
me
you for
on
having
the Doomsday Report. And it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you properly.
Likewise.
What can I say? I have been Esteban. This has been Extort, and this has been the Doomsday Report. It doesn't have to rhyme all the time.
The song is called Skyscrapers.
Yeah!